we're likely to see some testing or continuation of a technical rally, but we do not have quality demand. Volume is low. So remember that wherever we have low volume, we have both decreasing supply and also the demand. We are still lagging of the quality demand to push the price up, and also the aggressive supply to initiate the gapping down, big bearish bar. With this localized increase of the supply on Wednesday 16, that's still considered as a low volume. Yesterday is considered as quite low volume. I don't see a lot of the aggressive supply coming out. This is still considered a test. We did not get coiling and then breakout. Rather, we'll have some form of the test and come into test of one half of this bullish bar. Here is the chance for it to form a higher low. If it could reverse from here, forming a higher low after exhaustion of the supply, breaking out from here, we could see another push to the upside, because 5500 is not a level where the bear want to sell into strength. That's why we did not see the increase of the volume, rather decreasing of the supply. But we also lack of the aggressive demand to push the price up. Here is an obvious access line, rejection from the access line, but without aggressive selling. That's why that could be another chance for it to form a higher low. Then we could have another form of structure to further push into a more obvious level like 5700 to about 5800. That should attract more supply. This is where we want to see increasing of the supply, because 5500 is not a good level to attract the supply, and not a lot of the aggressive selling, despite we have a downturn. That's still a downswing. Two is breakout from the immediate downtrend line, or a more obvious level 5320. I want to see a take out of this bar, a reversal from here in order for it to turn into an upswing. That could be a choppy movement. That's the best case at the moment. A low, a higher low, and then to form a higher high until we see a test into an obvious level 5700 to about 5800. This is the zone that we want to monitor for spike of the supply. Despite it is moving down, supply is low. I'm hoping to see a higher low form and followed by a reversal. Wait for a reversal, which we need to come in above 5300 to take out yesterday high. The weekly chart, the 200 moving average is considered an important line. I don't want to rule out a lower low test because of the weak rally, but the supply is still relatively low for it to push down. I'm hoping to see rally up until 57 or 5800 to attract some heavy selling into a lower low test to undercut the previous low and to have a range bound condition here. We also mentioned that 2022 as an analog, even we have that low form and have an automatic rally secondary test, look at the secondary test, it undercuts the previous low. Do remember that this is quite common. Even we do get a good rally, the second leg down could be quite fierce and that could undercut the low. The analog that I would like to use is the 2011 analog, which we discussed last week. 2011 is quite depressed. It stays 2.5 months for it to initiate a rally and then a last point of the support before we see a sign of strength rally. The market breadth that's also depressed, a long-term breadth suppressed at the oversold zone, something that we need to watch out for. That's also the best time to take a look at the outperforming stocks, where there is a lot of the outperformance shown up in some of the stocks, and those other stocks that's worth to pay attention to, because when a market regime is rally, or even those outperforming stocks could run ahead of the market without the need to wait for the market to break out. This is still an early stage, even if it is a bottoming process.